What's going on, everybody? This is going to be a cool little project I'm going to do. I had this old 50-gallon drum laying around, and I'm going to try to make something cool out of it. Basically just using this eye bolt and blue tape, drywall tape. This is a 6-inch 3/8 eye bolt that will go in the top of this barrel when I'm all done with it. Oh yeah, I'm basically making a cage, a Halloween prop that will be like a rusty cage when I'm all said and done. This is another YouTuber's idea. I'm just kind of running with it. I actually use the bottom as my top. It was just easier to cut through. And I basically use the tape to make my guidelines and set that up like that. I do the coming down on the sides. I leave the bottom, I don't do anything on the bottom because it's staying. The top I will cut all up. This top section right here, I'm only leaving it for structural support. The other guy did the same thing and definitely need that. So that's the only tools I really use. Drill to make holes to get my blade in there for the jigsaw. I just use the jigsaw to cut out all the pieces. That's a good dog. This was tedious, for sure. And once the kind of structural soundness of the whole thing, once it gets a little wobbly, it's hard to cut, but it was good. And here it's all cut out. Took a little while, made a heck of a mess. I cut out that top piece that, like I said, I was using it for just for support. I had to shut off my fire. I was out back just having a good old time. I like these projects because there's, I paid like $5 for this barrel like 10 years ago. So there's really not a lot of risk in building this. So all the pieces that I cut out up top, I'm basically just, I drilled some holes in them already, but I ended up not liking where those hole placements were, so I'm going to redo them. Here I'm just bending each one, trying to make it as flat as possible. I tried using a torch and a spray gun, and this way just worked just the same. My Black & Decker drill died, of course, so I had to bust out the big dog. And I'm basically just drilling a hole and through each one, and then cutting off the excess meat that's on the end. Made quite the mess in this whole project. There'll probably be plastic in my yard for the next 1,000 years, but tried to do my best to cleaning it up. And that's what I ended up with on the top. It was pretty clean. And here I'll just start lacing each piece through this eye bolt. Here I probably should have kind of experimented with a little bit. I think if my placement would have been a little different, I wouldn't have ended up with so much mass on the top there. It's quite... I even tried heating it up and kind of melting it all together, and it still didn't work that well. This is just a lock washer that I felt the need to show you. And a nut that I'm going to put on the bottom of there to try to hold it on nice and tight, which is very tight. And I'm actually trying to get it torqued down to get a lot of that air and everything out, but that's that. I was pretty happy with that. It turned out a lot better than I thought. I was geeked. So here I'm just using multi-purpose adhesive, basically just to get the paint to stick a little bit better and also to get a little bit of texture. A little bit of orange paint, a little bit of brown paint, and some black. But yeah, like I said, the adhesive is there just for the texture. It's kind of giving it a cast iron kind of look to it, other than the smooth. Here I'm bugging the children. But anyway, so here you can kind of see what it does when you put that adhesive on there. It had marks, measurement marks on there, and it covered them up really nicely. Here I screwed up and ended up hacking that off right there when I was cutting it out, so I put some duct tape down there. And it ended up working out good because that ended up being like an access panel to be able to get into the cage and put stuff in there. So now I'm basically just doing the whole thing orange to give it this rusty undercoat. It was tedious to get all the insides of every piece because it's pretty thick plastic, so that took a while. My cuts could have been a little bit straighter on some, but I think it looks more crude and kind of medieval that way. So now I'm going to start with the brown. I'm just going over this. I'm going to go over the whole thing, but lightly at first, because I just want the orange to kind of come through to, like I said, give that rust look.
I don't know if it's going to show on camera or not.
It does. You can see the texture pretty good through that.
I mean, it looks pretty rusty dusty.
Rusty dusty indeed. Here I'm trying to give it a little bit of depth by putting basically two black lines on each cross section to show that there's, two pieces that are riveted together there. Speaking of rivets, I use googly eyes. Stick on plastic googly eyes for rivets. I thought they worked out pretty good. Yeah, I was very pleased with that.
Rivets.
Rivets. I think I said ribbit there. Why there's frogs in the background. It's hilarious. But yeah, basically went from this to this. It's freaking cool though. I was very pleased with this. I think the paint job was it's pretty good. The rivets were awesome. I mean, I love this thing. I will have this hanging up just on display probably all year round in the shed or hanging from a tree out back. I don't know. But pretty cool. I definitely want to make some more of these. Yeah, this wire, it was just a wire from the skeleton. That's to turn the eyes on, and this is just a string to hang it up by. Old school handcuffs there. But yeah, there it is. Very spooky. Go out and make one. It's fun. It's a cool little project. But yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate you. And peace.